Today on the show, I'm happy to have Sahil Agarwal. He's the co-founder and CEO of Enkrypt AI, to deploy your AI models where your customers need them. And we were just discussing the problems with IP and ownership issues around AI modeling and what you're seeing happen in the market right now when something starts to blow up like this. So like AI is the new crypto, right? And so
Right.
we have this buzzword craze going, and you have to differentiate between the people who actually are building real technology and the people who are just trying to take advantage of that trend.
Right. Yeah. And we had seen even before LLMs came, right? ChatGPT came, which literally blew up AI as a buzzword. We've been like I said previously, we were working on the data side. How do you secure your enterprise data to be able to get more insights from that data for a variety of use cases? And then the models now, because enterprises are not going to have their data leave their environments. So how do we enable model developers to go to these enterprises? Essentially, is the challenge.
I would like to see when you get everybody convinced to implement this technology because it really would solve a major issue here.
Yeah, if you think about, I mentioned this before, but because AI is having its internal moment right now, in the next couple of years or 5 years down the line, machine learning is going to be embedded in literally every workflow of human lives. Every component will have some component of machine learning. Building that security infrastructure or business infrastructure or secure deployment and commercialization of these machine learning technologies to make the AI or the machine human interface as seamless as possible. If these models start to be hacked, tagged, or anything like that, that whole vision breaks down. Like AI is not going to be like people are already having second thoughts about whether we need to AI development, whether we need to like stop AI from getting smarter. But having that kill switch or having that secure infrastructure where both of these can work harmoniously together is going to be very important in the future. And that's where we're headed. And that's the plan to get there. And we're starting with model theft or model IP to get there.
You always see a lot of fear show up when technology advances quickly. And so
Yeah.
AI, especially with ChatGPT, now everybody really understands, oh, the power of this. And so then you have all the naysayers come in. Oh, this is advancing too quickly. The robots are gonna take over. We're gonna have Skynet situation.
It's interesting, right? If you think about it more, it happened when calculators came, your brain power is going to go down. I don't think that has happened. It happened when internet came. There were a lot of naysayers, even for internet as well, where people were like, I'm not going to put my credit card info on the internet. I'm not going to do that. But I don't think like everyone uses online shopping today. But that happened because you needed to build a secure infrastructure so that your credit card or your financial information is not going to be stolen. And similar thing is going to happen for machine learning as well. Like people may be concerned about whether Terminator would happen. But I mean, in our view, it's going to have machine learning embedded without it optimizes what you're focusing on. It optimizes on like higher value tasks allows you to focus on higher value tasks where it automates your repetitive workflows. But to enable that, you need that secure infrastructure, right, in
Yeah,
place.
and these are tools. These are all tools that aid us. They're not
Yeah,
gonna replace us. And then we learn to take on new tasks.
right, right. AI models themselves, they're having the internet moment, and model providers are spending millions of dollars to create these proprietary AI models. But it's not trivial to deploy them because these models and model weights can be easily copied and stolen, right? And if you go on the sales side, enterprise customers demand deployment of these models on-prem for their data security reasons, privacy reasons, compliance reasons, which which makes matters a lot worse for the model providers because they have no choice. Where either they have to forego the enterprise sale and just like stick to cloud-based solutions of providing API endpoints, or risk shipping these models to customers' premises or private clouds without any safeguard for usage or licensing. And there's no right answer to that we're seeing right now.
So what are you trying to do to get this solved?
So our solution is essentially bridging that gap. we're building software that protects your AI model, protects your machine learning model, and you can give that model to your customers similar to any other black box. It's a little black box where they can run inference on-prem, fine-tuning on-prem, compute on-prem without ever having any visibility into the model itself. So that protects the model, protects model IP, but enables you to sell your AI models to large enterprise customers.
So how does that differ from a cloud-based model that you see some of these providers have?
Because for cloud-based models, my data has to leave, or my customer's data has to leave their premise and come to me. Whereas for this, my model can sit within there and their data stays completely private. Both inputs and outputs stays completely private for them. And I'm able to understand my model usage, how they're using my model, if anyone's trying to tamper with the model, if the customer or if my enterprise customer stops paying, I have a so-called kill switch where I can kill the model remotely as well. So there's no, like, essentially making your model into a product itself that they can use, not necessarily just a model.
Right, there still needs
Right.
to be a trust back and forth between the
Right.
enterprise user and the software provider.
Because if you already spend $100 million in training this large language model, for example, or some proprietary machine learning model, for example, you really need to be able to monetize, right? And fast. And the best way is getting enterprise customers who pay like a lot of money for that, right? So time to monetization, time to value is reduced a lot. And then this trust, or not actually not depending that your enterprise customers won't screw you over, is the solution that we're building, where like you give them the model and you know if they're misusing it or if they're like copying it, like anything that happens with the model, you will know.
This is a difficult situation because you have the enterprise provider whose data is very important to them and they
Mhm.
don't want anybody to have access to that. You have the AI creator who has spent a lot of time and energy on this product to make it, and they want to continue to see dollars come from that over time. Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
tough.
yeah, exactly right. So how do you bridge that gap? Is where we are coming in, where we are enabling these model providers to sell their models to enterprise customers with the IP breach or model misuse or anything, or any model attacks even in the future. Prevent, build that security infrastructure, because commerce will only happen if your asset is secure. If your asset is out in the open, then there is no commerce or there is no monetization around it. So we are essentially like commercialization and and security go hand in hand. So making that possible.
So this idea doesn't come out of thin air. What is the story behind how you came up with this?
So when I started Encrypt about a year ago, we were focused security and privacy for AI for consumers, but quickly realized people as individuals don't care for privacy as much. And so we were focused on, so like I said, there are two pieces of the puzzle. There's data and there's models. So we were working with a few companies on the data security piece where there's a third like cloud provider who's providing the model. How do I secure my data if I want to use that model? Working in the healthcare domain and working in insurance domain with these companies, quickly realized companies are more than happy to not do anything with their data than have their data leave their environment, even if it's secure, even if it's private. So we switched sides and came to the realization it's easier to bring models to data than data to models. So that's why we are essentially enabling these model providers to share, sell, and deploy their models with enterprise customers to enable those sales.
Is this your first business in the space?
Yes.
So
Uh,
first time. So what were you doing before when you jumped into this?
my background is in maths and computer science, did my PhD from Yale in applied maths, and then worked at another startup as their head of AI. Was their early employee, built the team, AI team there, where we were developing and deploying proprietary machine learning models for larger enterprises, including government, US government, and other like companies that I'm not allowed to share. And then we saw this problem there as well, similar problem where how do I deploy my models in different environments while maintaining control over those models themselves. Even though if I don't want to access the underlying data, but I still want to have access, make sure I have control over my models. That was like, I've had that experience. And then I started in crypto.
Are you bootstrapping this business or did you raise capital?
So I was bootstrapping it up first quarter of this year. And then we recently raised capital from Berkeley Skydeck. So we're part of the current batch, the current cohort of Berkeley Skydeck.
Has it made it a little easier to have that cash behind you?
It has. It definitely has. It has allowed us to focus more on product, more on customers than making sure we're able to survive. But also, I think the biggest advantage that we've seen personally is having access to that network. The value of the network that Skydeck is providing is much, much more than the cash itself. Talking to industry experts, talking to professors at Berkeley, been through this journey of entrepreneurship and building businesses before has been so much more valuable. And it also puts some brand recognition behind you that when you talk to your customers, they know that this company is going to stay. It's not like this 2% team is not going to go away next month.
So, yeah, if our listeners wanted to get in touch with your company or you, how could they do so?
So they can get in touch on our website, enkryptai.com. They can reach me directly as well at sahil@enkryptai.com. I'm always reachable. They can reach me on LinkedIn or via email or via our website. Like I would happily talk to companies looking to sell their models to enterprises, or other use cases that we are working on are like just security plays. How do I secure my machine learning model and prevent tampering with the model itself? So if companies are concerned, like if they're deploying their models on edge devices or air gap systems or anywhere else, they're concerned about model tampering. We can help with that as well.
Thank you, Sahil, for coming on the show. And thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Failing to Success. Make sure to smash that subscribe button. I'm your host, Chad Kalecki with Cosmic Web Design and Development. And we'll see you next time.